Strong takes the snap. Here they come. It's picked up. Strong going to air one out once again towards the end zone. Touchdown! Another one. Robert Strong Jr. Welcome back as we continue live on Griffin's Game Day, counting you down to kickoff. Seton Hill in California. You heard from Coach Isaac Collins. Now it's time for our Griffin Player Spotlight with quarterback Christian Strong, redshirt sophomore out of Brampton, Ontario. And Christian, take us through what the end of the game was like last week. I know the best feeling as a quarterback is to take that final knee. You guys went out in victory formation after Slippery Rock missed the field goal. You took the knee and you guys won the game. Take us through what it was like on the sideline, what the feeling was like after the game.
Right after Slippery Rock's kicker had missed that field goal, everyone was jumping around, going crazy on the sideline, and I was that one guy that was still serious and screaming at the O-line, screaming at the guy saying, like, we have to still get into victory formation, get good snaps, and just finish the game. But once I took that final knee, it was the greatest feeling ever. I haven't experienced a feeling like that. Right away, gave my shout out to God, obviously, right after the game. And then I had a great big hug with Coach Collins, Coach Hop, Coach Eager, and just to see the emotions from each and every player out there. We worked so hard for it, and it all paid off.
And that was a great shot in the Tribune Review. Folks, if you haven't seen it, you can go to triblive.com and check that out, the picture of you pointing to the sky. That was really great. I'm sure something that you'll never forget.
Never forget. Like I said, all the glory goes to God. So.
You threw some fantastic balls on Saturday, Christian, even when the coverage was good by Slippery Rock. How much can you attribute that to your chemistry with your receivers? Do you feel that building where you can throw it to a spot with certain guys, you kind of know their speed and their size and their length and things like that?
Yeah, I definitely I feel like we had a great week of practice preparing for Slippery Rock, and we gelled as an offense. And even from the summer, getting chemistry with the receivers was huge. We had almost all of our athletes come back, and it's obviously it's starting to pay off in the games, and you can actually really see that we're all on the same page. Ardell has great speed, Eric has a size, and we have loaded weapons all across the board where they have sure hands and are great route runners.
I was going to ask you about the wide receivers, and the one guy that you didn't mention there is Jarvis McClam. I want to start with him. How good does it feel? He took 2 hard licks last week. It was checked for a concussion, I think, twice. Got back on the field. It takes a lot to get that guy out of the game, doesn't it? How good does it have the security blanket on like a third down to find Jarvis out?
Jarvis is a warrior. He's like one of my best friends also here at school. But, he's a go-to guy. When we need a big play, he's going to get called. So, I have full trust on him, and I know of his abilities to make big plays happen, especially in crucial moments. So it was I know, he did get hit pretty hard a few times, and, I said sorry after that second one on the sideline. But, he stayed with it, pushed through, and ultimately put a great game.
Well, Ardell's only a freshman, but you seem to have natural chemistry with him already. You guys hooked up a couple of times against Westchester, hooked up a couple of times last week. Talk about how impressed you've been with him as a freshman doing what he's been doing.
He came in the summer, and I hadn't believed all the hype yet on Ardell. But he is just so consistent, and he has that edge to him that is just not many receivers have it. There's just something about him. He has great speed, he's a great route runner, and he has no fear when he's playing at all, especially for a freshman. And he's a big-time playmaker, and I honestly think that he has a great future here at Seton Hill.
You threw for the second most amount of yards in a single game in Seton Hill football history, plus 4 touchdowns, but you also threw 3 interceptions. What do you need to do you believe, to cut down? Because I know that when you put the ball in the air that many times, the interceptions are going to come sometimes. It's just going to happen. But I know you as a competitor, you don't want to throw interceptions either. What does the coaching staff work with you to kind of cut down on the INTs? What do you think you have to do a little bit better, even this week against Cal?
Yeah, you're very right. I don't want it to be a thing where with every touchdown I throw, an interception comes with, and that's basically what it is right now. I have 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And even from last year, I finished off season with 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So, it's something that I really have to work on, have to focus up on. A lot of the times it happens when I have pressure in my face and I can't step into a throw that I want to make, or it usually happens when I just feel pressure. And I mean, coaches have talked to me obviously about it. It's something that has to be cut down in order to be successful in our offense. I mean, the goal is to score and keep the defense off the field, and when I throw a pick off, the defense comes back on the field. So it's something that obviously is in my mind, and I know I'm hoping for that game, hopefully this week against Cal, where I'll be interception free. So
4 TDs and 0 picks so far.
That would be great. That's the plan.
But by the same token, Christian, though, you only played a handful of games your senior year of high school. Then you didn't play at all. You were redshirted your freshman year here at Seton Hill, even though I know Coach was considering burning that. Now looking back, glad he didn't. And then last year, you didn't play until late in the year. So you went a long stretch of time without really having the real live bullets flying. So I know you're still probably working into even better game shape right now because you really haven't played a whole lot of games over a long stretch of time. What kind of challenge has that presented to you? I mean, do you feel pretty comfortable right now? But when you first started getting back into it, like late last year, was that difficult?
I mean, yeah, last year was fairly difficult because I wasn't getting many team reps in practice, and then the last 3 games of the season I was a starter, so it was a bit overwhelming at that time. But I feel like the camp that I had so many team reps in camp, and coaches prepared me very well. I mean, I know the playbook pretty well as well, inside and out, and I'm comfortable with it now. But I mean, there's always room for improvement. So I just feel like right now, biggest thing for me is just keeping my confidence and playing to my best ability each and every day.
It had to be hard, though, going from high school to the Division II level. I know you practiced a lot, but to get thrown in there last year late in the season in game action at the Division II level after, again, playing just a handful of games your senior year of high school, then missing all of your freshman year because you were redshirted. What was the speed of the game like? Everything had to be kind of flying around. I'm sure it's slowing down for you a little bit now, though, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, it was very fast, very fast. I mean, and even in Florida football is very fast.
Yeah.
But coming back here to play D2 football, like you said, is even faster. Just a step above. You're playing older athletes, more mature athletes who have the speed, capability to make big plays, and even the size difference. A huge thing was taking hits and being able to get back up after taking a big shot. And I just feel like this year, I mean, more comfortable with it, gain some size and some weight so I can take some of these shots. But it's a huge difference from high school to college, very.
Talk about your delivery. A little bit unorthodox, a little bit unique. Was that something that came naturally to you, or was that something growing up that someone worked with you with?
I have a great quarterback coach down in Florida as well, Coach John Kaleo, who has helped me throughout the years growing up.
Now, do you still keep in
I still keep in touch. I do still keep in touch with him. And Coach Hop is a great teacher as well. He helps me a lot.
Quarterback's coach at Seton Hill.
Yep. I have a great coach as well back in Canada who helps me. But the throwing form, I mean, it's something that I'm always trying to tweak. I'm always trying to improve. And I would say I want to implement like NFL quarterbacks, but I feel like every single quarterback has a unique style that they throw the football. So, I mean, it is unorthodox, but it gets there. So
that's something. I'm a huge baseball guy, and they say, when you get to the plate, if you're hitting with the way that your swing is, it might not look good. It might look a little unorthodox, but if you're hitting the ball, that's the most important thing. Coaches will let you go. So if you're still throwing those passes right on the money, no one's going to tweak you too much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You and before I talk about you and Dan, I have to ask you about what it was like growing up. Now, you're from Canada. You were born in Canada.
Yes, sir.
Then you moved to Florida, where Seton Hill recruited you, and then back to Canada. Talk about growing up and the climate changes between the two places.
Oh, I know. So yeah, like you said, I was born in Canada, moved to Florida, lived there, grew up there in my childhood till I was 13. Went back to Canada with my family, and then decided to go back down to Florida for my senior year of high school. And yeah, the climate change is totally different. Obviously, Canada's very cold. That Florida heat is scorching.
Yeah.
But I mean, I fell in love with both places. They're both my hometown. Toronto's a great city that I adore, and then Florida. I mean, I live right 15 minutes from the beaches, so you can't complain with that.
Yeah. So you had snow and then sand.
Exactly.
I mean, you got the best of both worlds.
Yep.
So you don't worry about anything there. I do want to talk to you about you and Dan Pietrangelo had a good camp going up against each other, battling for the starting quarterback spot. Dan won the spot out of camp. How challenging was that for you, again, as a competitor? I know both of you guys are pulling for each other, but both of you guys want to get the snaps behind center. How challenging was that for you coming out of camp? And I'm sure you're one of those guys, though, that kept a good head and knew that your chance would be coming at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's a great quarterback. He has the ability to make plays with his legs as well, and I mean he's a great friend. And yeah, like you said, camp was a roller coaster ride. It was of peaks and valleys, ups and downs. I had it, then he had it, then I had it, then he had it. So I mean, to get it back now, I just feel like I just have to focus, on the team, and still have to obviously produce each and every single day. I know that he's injured, but even when he comes back, I mean. I still want to keep that spot, but I have to keep showing out each and every single day at practice and keep having great games.
When you come to the sideline, do you guys talk a lot about what you see?
Oh yeah, I mean he's still very open with me. Even all the quarterbacks, even the freshmen that are out there, will all talk. I mean, I feel like this is a great quarterback group where we have a great bond, great unity forming.
Easy to relax, Christian, after such a big win like that. And it's a natural thing to happen sometimes because you guys won one of the biggest games, if not the biggest, in Seton Hill football program history with that victory. The only thing that I compared it to was their lone playoff win, which happened well before you got here. What was the week of practice like? Did the coaches reinforce, technically you guys haven't won anything. I know what your goal is, certainly to finish at the top of the PSAC. There's still a lot more weeks to go. Do you guys have to kind of reset and refocus?
Yeah, I mean, we have to obviously humble ourselves. We had a great win, and we can't take that away from ourselves. But we have to put it to bed because Slippery Rock is not our next opponent. Cal U is our next opponent. This past week of practice, we had it was a bit shaky though offensively. I just feel like a lot of guys were still hanging on that win, and we just had to focus up. And I still feel like we're in great shape for Cal U. I think our defense has gotten better as well each and every day, and we're ready.
I want to ask you about Cal U, but before I do, what are you majoring here at Seton Hill? What are you majoring in here at Seton Hill? And I know you're part of organizations as well here at Seton Hill. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm a journalism new media major here at Seton Hill and a minor in communications and a specialization in sports management. I am the co-editor-in-chief for the Setonian. I'm usually in your position conducting interviews. I'm not usually the interviewee, but I love writing. I love sports writing, so that's my field here.
Well, I know you want to. We really want to have you, by the way, as an intern. I know you asked about the summer. Unfortunately, we just don't have much going on. Spring, you got spring ball, so you're going to have to walk in Chase Parker's shoes like he did last year. Wait till your senior year, and then we'll have you in the spring.
Yeah, look totally for it, so I'm ready for that.
And right now, Marcus is actually running the controls behind the scenes, so he's going through it right now. And he's having a great time, right, Marcus? That's what I thought. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of problems they'll present for you guys defensively? I know looking at their scouting report, they lost a lot of linebackers from last year, but they also have guys stepping up in that area. They have a solid defensive line, and obviously just a solid team. Yeah,
Cal U, they're a great team. Their defense is very fast, very athletic. They have, I think that their secondary is very legit. They're probably the best secondary that we're going to face all year. Their interior guys are as well. They're very good. They're very capable of making plays. And I think if we can establish that run game right off the back and open up the pass game, that we'll be in great position.
Yeah, I know that's something that you guys and coach have been stressing every week, trying to establish that running game. Hopefully that can happen today. Also, with rain showers in the forecast, what kind of challenge does that present for you individually?
It's obviously in the back of my mind, but even with the rain, I played in it before, so you can't really hang yourself too much on it. You just have to go out there and still compete.
And they do a pretty good job of drying the balls dry, as long as it's not a downpour.
Yeah, I'll have a towel on me. My center will have a towel on him as well. So
later in the season, we'll have to have maybe you interview a player. Maybe Well, we did have Jarvis on, but I don't know. Maybe you can interview him or
that'd be great.
Or somebody else. That'd be kind of cool. We could do that. I could step away. That's perfectly fine with me. We could do something like that. Christian, a lot of fun talking with you, man. Great win last week, and celebrated with another win today against Cal U.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is Christian Strong, redshirt sophomore quarterback here at Seton Hill University. Coming up in just a moment, you will hear from us once again as we continue on the pregame show, counting you down to kickoff. It's Griffin's Game Day right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.